I feel the energy in here is stronger than a Konsombo Dam. Put your hands together for yourselves. This is amazing. This is wonderful. Good evening to you all that are watching us, and for those of you who are watching us all across the world on our various social media platforms, welcome to Time with the Captains. It's a monthly motivational session. They say that knowledge is relevant, but experience is priceless. What we do on Time with the Captains is to get captains of industry to come in and share their experiences unedited, failures and success all in one package, to students and young entrepreneurs who aspire to also reach higher heights in their various fields of aspirations. Tonight is no different, because our time with the captains is going to be much more revealing than ever, and I promise you that. My name is Alfred Okansi. Welcome once again to Time with the Captains. We have a wonderful, energetic audience from the University of Professional Studies here in Accra. They feel the atmosphere already, but let's put our hands together once again for ourselves. Wonderful. Amazing. So we're going to go for a quick break. When we do come back, I'll tell you who our captain is for this month. Do stay. Executive Officer of Slate Industries Limited, Board Chairman, Ghana Export Promotion Authority. Over 43 years he has of successful experience as a banker, industrialist, entrepreneur and consultant. Currently, said CEO of Slate Industries Limited, manufacturer of MVP range of hair products, one of the leading indigenous health and beauty aids firms in Ghana. Previously co-founded and co-managed by Afam Concept Incorporated, manufacturer of leading hair brands, Vital and L&T in Chicago, Illinois, in the States of America. In terms of education, he holds a BSc Finance, Eastern Illinois University, Charleston, Illinois, USA, and a Master of Management, that's MBA in Northwestern University, Kellogg School of Management, Evanston, Illinois, in the United States. In 2005, he was chairman of the Ghana Athletics Association and member of the IAAF, International Association of Athletics Federation. His areas of expertise include business management, financing, banking, international business, and also accounting. He's an entrepreneur, he's an international business owner with business innovation as well, and a banker, a mentoring and coach, and marketing and sales consultant as well. In terms of his achievements, one of the notable is in 2008, he receives Ghana's highest national award, Order of the Voter Member. Ladies and gentlemen, our captain for today and for the month of October, with a round of applause, please, let's acknowledge Mr. Sandy Osei Ajiman. Please put your hands together for him. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. And it's good to have you.
I'm glad to be here.
And taking some time to be with us here and to share your experience with these very enthusiastic young people who want to be like you and even be more.
I hope they become better than I have been.
Absolutely, and that's a great one to have. But you were the former chairman of the the Ghana Athletics Association?
Yes.
So athletics is one of your hobbies.
Yes, it is.
You can run.
You used to be able to run very fast.
You used to.
These days I just jog and walk.
You jog and walk.
Yeah. A funny thing happened one day. I have two little children, and we went to their school and they were having the school run. So the teachers invited the older guys and the parents to come and run. I thought I was still in my heyday, so I just took off 10 meters later, I started pulling the muscle.
Oh my goodness.
I don't have it any longer.
The age was real.
It was terrible.
How far could you run those days, man, on a 100-meter race?
Well,
can I compare you with Usain Bolt?
I'll give you an interesting statistics. When I was running, I used to run, it was yards, then I ran the 100 yards in 9.3 seconds.
9.3 seconds?
Yes, and the world record that time was 9.1.
I see.
And between 1972 and 73, when they ran the top fastest sprinters in the world. I was among them.
Fantastic.
You know,
Put your hands together for him.
After all, prior to that, you know, my high school, most people remember me from my high school, Pokuai. I went to OAS.
I see. There are a few of them here.
So we used to have this competition with Prempeh College, you know, our friends but our arch rivals. And they had a gentleman who was the then champion called Santos. So he was just tormenting the Pokuai, and I came along and I just
floored
him out.
him.
So ever since that day, everybody from Pokuai remembers Sandy.
Wow. Yeah. And what was your nickname those days?
Sandy.
Sandy.
Yeah.
What was your nickname? What's his name?
Yeah.
Sounds
that
good.
became my name, Sandy.
Yeah. That's
the
very
reason why
easy.
that came about is that my competitor was called Santo.
And you were called Sandy.
Sandy.
Amazing. This is wonderful. You know, go back those experiences.
So I'm sure for the audience watching, the one that remember in the 60s, remember this story very well.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's worth sharing.
And what was good was that, on my 50th birthday in Chicago, 2 of my cousins came from New York to celebrate with me. And one of them made a statement which I think pertains to what we're trying to do here. He was telling the others, you know, whatever Sandy has said, he's been able to do it. Because I remember when I was a young boy in primary school, and I found that I could run, I told them that I wanted to go to USA on athletic scholarship, which I did. I also told them at that time that I wanted to go to the Olympics, which I was able to do.
Wow.
So I'm saying this all to say that, let me just start with this quote, you know. You always have to watch your thoughts, okay, because your thoughts will become your words. And you always have to watch your words because it will become your actions. And you should watch your actions because that will turn out to be your character. And then you should watch your character because that will definitely define your destiny. So I'm saying this to say that as young as you are, you, me, everybody is the sum total of their thought processes. You become what you think about most of the time. So the reason why that is important is that when you know this, it forces you to think about what is your purpose in life. And I say that even though I was younger then, I had the vision to say that I wanted to run the Olympics, I wanted to go to US on scholarship. Right. It happened because of my thought processes. So that's one thing you have to also bear in mind. Second quote, if you don't mind, is that these quotes affirmations are very important if you want to be an entrepreneur. It goes like this. He who knows not and knows not that he knows not, he's a fool. Run away from him. He who knows and knows that he knows not, he's simple, so you teach him. But he who knows and knows not that he knows, he's asleep. You just wake him. And he who knows and knows he knows, he's wise. You follow him. So this is important because this relates to ignorance and knowledge. Okay, and that's what I say, Obia onim. No onim se onim no. Or yeah, K Pamulo. You got a drift here.
Yes, okay. That's right.
So anyway, back in the day, you know, these were the kind of things that motivate me to do most of the things that I've been able to do. So for you young guys wanting to be an entrepreneur, you watch your thought processes, and you always have to seek knowledge, and you have to kill ignorance. You know,
I do less of the talking anytime I chat with Mr. Osayajiman because he has a lot in him to share. But what is that one thing that people don't know about you? I've read a lot, but that one thing about Sandy Osayajiman.
Very reserved, yeah, and very private. And you have the public persona and you have your private life. And I believe in, when I have a friend for life. So that's one of the things. So you find out in life that, again, since we're sharing this, you know, everybody know about Socrates, right?
Yeah.
The great philosopher. You know about his triple filter test. You heard about that one. Somebody came to try to tell him something about his friend. And he stopped him and said, well, before you tell me something about my friend, I want to put you through this test. It's called triple filter test. First, is what you're going to tell me about my friend true? Have you ascertained that what you're going to tell me is true? The guy said, no. Okay. Well, then, secondly, it's about goodness. Sure. Is what you're going to tell me about my friend any good? He said, no. So the third filter test is what you're going to tell me useful? Is it going to be useful to me? He said no. The essence of this is that gossip, negativity, before somebody can tell you anything, you have to go through this test. And if it's not the truth, if it's nothing good about it, if it's not going to be useful to me, well, why tell me? So that's another way of shutting out all bad people out of your life. Because on the road to entrepreneurship, you're going to need to be focused on what you want to do. And you don't want anybody that come out here that cannot add to your positive thoughts. Okay, so
you've done quite a lot for yourself, looking at your CV. Have you ever failed before? And if you have, how were you able to pick up yourself back up and keep running?
You keep failing, you keep succeeding, because success is relative.
True.
Okay, success. This reminds me of some of the things that one of my older brothers used to tell me when I was young, before I even went to the U.S. in the old days. He made a quotation, and that has stuck with me all my life. He said, "There's always more beyond." That's a simple statement. Think about it. So you say, have I failed before? Yeah, if I failed, there's always more beyond. So
share one of them with us, briefly.
My failures.
Yes.
When we started business at first, it was difficult trying to get financing in the U.S. So you go to the banks, and everybody will tell you no. But then I learned that time that denial is never final. So somebody telling you no, it's not a failure. It's just a way for you to regroup, come back, sit back, and figure out what is it that you didn't do right, so they can do it right. Another failure. Some of them are outside your control. Some of them are yourself. Friends will fail you. Sometimes you entertain too much, you become too lenient, you entertain too much leeway for people instead of cutting them off right early. So I've gone through some of that, and it was a mistake. So I failed in that area. But then, if your intention was always good, if you meant well, then God has a way of always trying to lift you up so that your good deeds come to pass. Failure, recently, the last couple of years, the economy wasn't that good for businesses in Ghana. Interest rates were too high. The exchange rate was bad. So if you're in business like I do, where you depend on foreign exchange for your raw material, it got very tough when finding banks, to support you all the time. It became difficult because you had previous experience. It's been difficult trying to keep up with your payment on time. But then the thing that you find out is that so far as you're honest about it, so far as you anticipate what's going to happen and you preempt it by talking to them that this is my challenge. In other words, be truthful in all the situation.
Right.
So failure, you'll fall. I mean, I've had some successes, big successes in America. I've had challenges in Ghana, but I'm still here.
I know you're still here. So I'm going to go to the audience now. You're the reason why he is here. I'm going to go to you, your questions, under 30 seconds, mention your name, go straight to the point. The microphone will be given to you when you lift your hand. So please, it's over to you now. First question. Right. Someone has the microphone behind. So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm Efem Dankwa. Asks, what is the biggest threat to your business?
The biggest
threat?
Competition. Most of the competition, I've been competing with the big brands in my industry in the US and here. So personally, and also in athletics, you compete with the best. So personally, I'm not scared of competition. But when it becomes unfair competition, then it's difficult. Most of the brands that come from outside to compete here, they don't have the commitment that we do, whereby we bring our resources here, we employ our local people. But then what most of them do is that they just ship their products here, maybe find one distributor or so, and they sell. So they're not committed to building Ghana. They're committed about, quote unquote, exploiting Ghana. So one of the things that is a threat is those competition. Because, and we Ghanaians too, we have this tendency of not supporting our own. A lot of times we don't. We like to support outsiders. And it was funny. I was reading the Ghana Web the other day, and this is very funny. Reverend Duncan Williams was making a comparison between Nigerians and Ghanaians on this. He said that in Nigeria, when they see you driving a very nice, expensive cars, they say, hey, Oga, I like this, so me too, I want to get money and buy it. That's right. I say in Ghana, when they see you driving, they ask, hey, where did he get his money from? How was he able to buy that?
Absolutely.
So I'm saying this to say that we should love ourselves more because we are great people. You see the greatest of Ghanaians, especially when you travel outside.
Absolutely.
Okay, when you're outside, everybody work together, they work harder, but here it's entirely different.
Yeah. So that's a good one. Yes.
Yeah, my name is Oliver from Pong. I want to ask, what motivated you to rise from your failures?
What motivated you to rise from your failures? That's when you fail.
Oh, because I know I have, remember what I said, there's always more beyond. I haven't finished my mission yet. And by the way, talking about mission, you know, I think all of you here, one of the things that I will entreat you to put some thought into it is that you have to define your purpose in life. You have to keep thinking about it. What is it that you're really about? What do you really want to become? You know, now you're going to school, so maybe you're thinking, let me graduate and get a job. But is that really what you want to do? Is that your talent? As you sit here, you already know some of the hidden talent that you only know. You have some latent talents. Everybody, you know, there's hidden.
Yeah,
so you,
they have to be positive talents. All the talents are with.
so you have to think about your purpose in life. So anytime you fall, you know, even when you go to your spiritual teaching, it teaches you that if you fall 10 times, stand up 10 times. And you're going to have some success. You're going to have some falls, valley, up and down. So what motivates me is that it's unfinished business. I don't want to go down as a failure. I want to go down on top. So whatever that is, so if I fail, I have to just make sure that I get up. As many times as I have challenges, I have to find a solution to it all the time. So that's how I deal with it. It's a mindset.
It's a mindset. Yes. Can you help me with the microphone? If it just help me pass it around. I've seen a number of hands up. Okay.
Thank you. My name is Etuain Ajamai, dear. Katachi Osei Ajamai. Please, what motivated you, or what opportunity did you see in MVP hair product that you decided to set up a business?
Well, that's an interesting thing. Before I forget, let me remind you this. To your question, you see I carried this notebook. When I had a partner, American partner in the U.S. We all used to be working at the bank. We were bankers. So we decided that we wanted to start our own business then. That time I was in graduate school at Kellogg. And then we started thinking about what we wanted to do. So we carried a notebook with us all the time. We call it the idea book. And we had different sections. We have section on inspirational thoughts. We have section on marketing, sales and marketing. We have section on new ideas. We have section on anything that will come out. So, you know, the mind's thinking about how many thousands and thousands of thoughts a day. And sometimes some great idea come to you. You don't know when it will come. So if you don't capture it, you'll never get it back the same way. So I encourage you that you should carry your idea book. Okay? And any thought that comes to you, you write it down. So what we used to do is that we used to put a lot of different business ideas that we wanted to explore. And what happens is that maybe after a month, you go back and read it, and you see that, okay, I listed 10 items. By going back the second or third time, you realize that 6 of those items really doesn't do it. If you do that process, by process elimination, you always end up with about 2 or 3 ideas that you know you can do, and that will define your purpose. So these are some of the things that we have to do. We were consultants then, and then we came out with a proposal for the bank. That time I was working with a bank in Chicago called Harris Bank. And the idea was that we showed the bank that they could come to Africa that time. This is back in 1975, 76. So they liked the business plan that we wrote for the bank. But when it came time, our purpose for doing that was so we can get a free trip to Africa that time.
Right.
When it came time to execute, they didn't give us the opportunity. They chose a different team. So my partner and I, Washington is his name, said, but if we can do this for the bank, why can't we do it for ourselves?
True.
So we started talking about different ideas. And then at that point in time, the hair care industry was very in its infancy. Okay, you only heard about something like Afro Sheen. Maybe most of you are too Afro Sheen, Johnson Prada, Stay Softro. Those are the brands that were there. So we figured out, well, why don't we form a company called AFAM Concept, AFAM, African American Concept. In fact, we came out with that name before quote-unquote black Americans started calling us African American, because I was the African, my partner was the African American. So we came out with that concept back in 1976. Okay. Yes. So we chose hair care business because we saw the potential in Africa. We didn't know what we were doing. We were bankers, And what am I going to do with the haircare industry? But you learn. I was very good at chemistry when I was in Apokwai. So, you know, it came easy. And believe me, haircare business, we call it health and beauty aid industry. It's nothing but science. Okay, everything that you see is science. The relaxer that ladies put in their hair is science. The pomade that you put in your hair is science. You know, so you have to learn all that.
Except the hair that they put on, it's not science. that is acquired. Anymore, please.
My name is Daniel Aitela.
Yeah, can you speak up a bit for me?
Daniel Aitela is my name. I'd like to know why you chose to be an entrepreneur instead of working for someone else.
Why I chose to work for myself?
Well, why you chose to be an entrepreneur instead of working for someone else?
I still go back to, it started with my father and the friends that I had. In fact, the current Minister of Agriculture, his father and my father were the best of friends. I remember very well when we were in primary school. Every long vacation, they will put all the children, you know the Ashanti men, they have all these children. So they will send all of us to their farm, Gambia, where the Kenyans, where they do the gold. So we used to go and plant cocoa beans. Well, I'm talking about we're about what, 8, 9, 10 years old. That's some of all of the children. So to us was like a vacation. So I had a taste of entrepreneurship. And also during that time too, I don't know, these days they don't do it. When we were younger, I sell chiapia. Okay, you take chiapia, you know, the children take, put it on the head. You go and I sell newspaper. You go ahead and push some newspaper. And I remember this. My first intro into cosmetic was that I know my mom used to put all these different assortment of hair product, powder, Vaseline, all that in this big thing. You have to carry and go to house to sell. So I did all of that, and I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur again. Going back to my purpose, it was a conscious decision. I knew that early. So everything that I was doing led me to become an entrepreneur.
Did that experience of selling on the streets also influence that decision to want to say, look, I have this, I can do this, and be an entrepreneur?
Yes, and also because also you know that to be an entrepreneur takes a lot of discipline, And the thing that I say is that, you know, in banking, we call something quick ratio or asset test. You know, you got all of that stuff. So you have to do. My partner and I still do it. You have to take a look at your strengths and your weaknesses. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to do a good introspective of yourself. You write all your strengths, like all your weaknesses. Are you the kind of guy that can believe in delayed gratification? Because being an entrepreneur is one of the prerequisites. You're not going to get your success overnight. So are you willing to be able to go the long haul till success come to you? Okay, so I made a conscious decision I want to be an entrepreneur. And when I was in graduate school, that time, Kellogg, Northwestern University introduced the first course in entrepreneurship. And I was on, the professor created teams. I was one of the teams. Right. And we put a business plan together. So I saw that this was for me. Even though when I was younger, my objective was either become a medical doctor or become a banker. I did become a banker. I didn't become a doctor. So it was, and then the banking training was, how I help. It was direct benefit to what I'm doing as an entrepreneur. So it was a conscious effort doing all of that, and then it led me to become an entrepreneur.
Fantastic. So we tend to do a lot of SWOT analysis on business analytics, but not on ourselves as individuals. Something you should do. Anymore? Yes.
My name is Claudio Anamo. I'm also asking, how did you get this idea or the concept of this business?
The concept of
your business.
You know, you don't have to be a college graduate to be successful in business. You don't, you know, the Steve Jobs drop out, Bill Gates drop out. But one thing that you do know is you do have to have that. If you have an education, in my particular case, the reason why I decided to get a master's degree, I call it my insurance policy. If all fails, I can always go back with my master's degree and get a good job. So education to me becomes insurance policy towards entrepreneurship. But education is also important because it forces you to think, to do the research, the stuff. We knew we could write. We knew we could do analysis. You know, in the banking, that's what I did. You know you could. I love numbers because I can make meaning out of numbers. You can give me any kind of numbers and I can tell a story with numbers. That's the strength that I have. So when you have all of these things, you realize that, hey, what can this lead to? So it was just a conscious effort to become an entrepreneur. It was the fact that I know I can do the analysis, and you have to be able to put a business plan together. And your business plan, you have to, it entails everything, you know. So once you have that, and you do your self-introspective and say, hey, do I have what it takes to be an entrepreneur? And then you find your idea, the idea book.
The idea book.
Keep it.
You have a
If you're not doing that, try it. Keep a book with you, notebook. And any thought, any idea, write it down. You'll be surprised that years later you go back and read it. You'll be surprised the kind of thing that you've written in it. And it's all part of educating yourself, getting more knowledge, and being wiser. Being wiser.
Fantastic. Now, I'm going to go for a quick break. I'll come back. Please reserve your questions. There's still a lot more time for you. But a round of applause for yourselves. Fantastic. It's an amazing audience we have from the University of Professional Studies here in Accra, UPSA. We'll be back shortly, and we'll continue with our time with our captain for today. Do stay. You meet your friends and they say, oh, where do you work? Say, oh, I work with TV3, I work with UMB and all of that. And when they ask you, you know you're unemployed, you say you're an entrepreneur. So nobody worries you about it. But how many of you want to own your own businesses? So, Sajman,
yes.
What do you have to tell them?
It's a fantastic idea to want to own your own business, because for 39 years I have been employing people, I've been given employment, all because I wanted to own my own business. It doesn't matter how big, how small, but once you do that, it's just like you learn how to share. Okay, so if you want to be an entrepreneur, you know, all the things that we discussed, you have to do them. I'll go back to your idea book. You have to define what you want to do, and then you have to start doing your homework on that particular thing. You have to do that. And it's something that might not happen. Stop thinking about luck. I don't have the money. I don't have this. What you have is you and your thoughts and your thinking. And ideas are plentiful. You can take an existing idea and improve on it, and it can be your business idea. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, do you really want to be an entrepreneur? That's the question. Can you go without payroll, salary for a long time, which I did.
Go on demonstration.
My partner and I, can you cut your coat according to your size?
Absolutely.
Can you hold on and let the passion that you have for what you want to do drive you, lead you? Can you be frugal with your wants and needs? Can you work harder? Are you persistent? Do you have the resiliency to keep on? Because there's going to be a lot of downs. Can you wake up when you fall? Can you go and ask somebody something and they tell you, Charlie, you're wasting your time more? Make it go find some work to do. Can you just withstand all of that? Then if you can withstand all of that, then you'll be on your way. Great. Can you decide that even if it takes 5 years, 6 years before you see profits, you're willing to go the long haul?
Fantastic.
So these are all some of the things you have to ask yourself.
Right. I'll take a question from you. Yes.
Okay. My name is Obin Emmanuel, and I want to ask, with the nature of your product, you know, your consumers apply directly on their skin as well as their hair. And I want to know if there are any measures in place in case it doesn't affect them in a positive way. What measures are there in place to care for such instances?
Okay. You know, our industry is very, like I say, is very technical. It's all science oriented. And most of the products that we make have to be, the ingredients that you put into has to be approved by the FDA in the US. The FDA have to approve it. So the answer to your question is education. One of my strengths, our strength in the US and live here in Ghana, we believe in education. Education is putting all the hairdressers together and teaching them not only about how to use your product, but letting them understand some of the chemicals that goes into the product, the do's and the don'ts. And we have something we call the same topic. Most questions people ask about the product. So you have to be proactive, educate them on a consistent basis. Sometimes, you know, unfortunately, people don't read before they use the product, because maybe they come to a training and sometimes they have the tendency to think that they know because they've been doing it. Right. But every situation is different. So the measure you have in place is that you do a lot more education, Okay, in the US, every manufacturer is forced to buy insurance policy because there are some bad people out there that will start anything. Occasionally, you will have some challenges because the environment is different. You know, you have too much dust, you have so many things that could go wrong. So your job is to do what you can to protect the integrity of your product. And then if a problem comes up, you own up to it and try to find out what caused the problem and find solution to it.
Find solutions to it. First lady.
My name is Nade Kose. My question is, between idea generation and idea buying, which would you opt for and why?
Between ideas
generation
and idea buying.
Which would you opt for and why?
Idea generation, idea buying. What's idea buying?
Like taking on an idea of someone and working with it.
So far as there's no idea is new in this world. Whatever you're thinking about, somebody has thought about before anyway. So whether it's maybe what you can do is that idea improvement. The idea buying might be idea improvement. Sometimes you can look at all the IT people. Even I was looking at the Ghana Post thing. Now people are saying different things that they took somebody. Idea is there, so you can add on to it. It's called value addition. You can do value addition to any idea. It becomes your idea. So there's no, and idea generation is where you actually think about something that maybe, let's say in our environment in Ghana, nobody's thinking about it, but you see the opportunity there. Then you can become your idea generation. But idea buying is that maybe somebody's doing it, it's not doing it good enough. You can do it better.
Absolutely. Okay. Please.
My name is Hannah Aqua, and my question is, as a manufacturer, how did you make your product thrive in a country like Ghana? Because people don't patronize made in Ghana goods. So how did you make Ghanaians trust your product and make it thrive?
Well, again, I told you I had about almost 21 years making products in Chicago, USA. So unless you know, most of the people thought MVP was a foreign brand because it all comes with the way that you present yourself. So packaging is everything. And when you have the experience, Ghanaians are no different than anybody else. Whatever you do has to appeal to them. So the way that we've done it is that, number one, you have to be global standards. Whatever you do has to be of global standard that your product can withstand. Whether I'm in Chicago or Washington, D.C., I can sell my MVP products there anytime, any day that I want. So that's number one. Number two is that you have to market your product. You know, we have a slogan, say, "Ahofen to us, so any trade." Sometimes these things are very important because you have to localize it. So if I say MVP and I give you the tagline, then subconsciously, it start registering. So we had to do a lot of different marketing things for the Ghanaians to accept. Besides, we make the best quality product.
Fantastic. Yes.
I can see you're a very busy man, but I want to know how you combine family and work.
Okay. That's a good one. To be an entrepreneur, you have to understand time management. And if I tell you some of the things that I've done, you'll be amazed. For example, when I was going to grad school, I was also practicing to go to the 1976 Olympics for Ghana in Montreal. Amazing. I did go to the 72 Olympic Games for Ghana. And then I was going to school, I was working at the bank, I had a family, and I still had time to go and practice. It all becomes where you focus your time on what you want to do. And for you people here, let me tell you something that there's a book that I would suggest most of you read if you want to be an entrepreneur. It's Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and there's also a black version. That book made a big difference for my partner and I when we first started as entrepreneurs. So I would recommend you do that. There's also another book called Guerrilla Marketing. Okay, that also will help you form your basis for your idea generation or whatever that you want to do. Okay.
Right, we need to go now, but our captain is actually going to be available after that for some more of one-on-one engagement with him, which I think is also very relevant, right? So we're going to take our final words from our captain to you out there, to the viewers who are watching us as well.
Well, I'm glad that I had some few minutes to interact with you. Of course, it's not enough, but I'm available at all times if anybody want to talk with me sometime. In fact, there's a lady here who is from 10 Gempa, and I'm on their governing board as one of their advisors. So it's all about entrepreneurs. It's all about entrepreneurship. So my thing is that I love to see young people wanting to have their own business. And whatever experience that I have, I will share. The problem is that you should you should go for mentoring because it will cut down the time it takes you to get to where somebody is if you try to do mentoring. You should always have a lot of questions to ask. Okay, don't be afraid. One of the things that successful people like, they won't tell you that when you ask them, how did you get to where you are? They will open up and tell you, instead of going and say, can you loan me money? Ask them, how did you come up with the ideas? How did you get to where you are? Right. So to end it, let me just suggest some few things. Think about your purpose in life. Think about your idea generation stuff. Think about what you want to do. Build stronger relationships.
Right.
Okay. Relationships are very, very important with yourself, with your family, with your friends, with your suppliers, with your contractors. Do your spiritual thing. Your prayers, affirmations comes from prayers. Okay. Whatever you want to do, write it down.
Write it down. Okay. Thank you so much, Sunday Osei-Ajima. Please, a round of applause for him. He's our captain for the month of October. We're grateful to those of you who watched us in your homes and across the world, and to you, the students of the University of Professional Studies here in Accra. Thank you to you and your Vice Chancellor and the faculty members. We're grateful that you make the time to join us. My name is Alfred Okansi. On behalf of the rest of the captains team here at TV3, we thank you for joining us. And stay with us here at TV3. Have a good evening.